You're listening to Flip Empire, the show committed to helping real estate entrepreneurs who want to build their empire without sacrificing their life. Your success and freedom starts now with your host, Alex Pardo.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another podcast episode here, 625 on the Flip Empire Show. My name is Alex Pardo, and I want to start off by just thanking you guys for the feedback that I was asked to give. And I kind of just dissected the whole process, why it's so important and critical to have a vision. So not going to get into that on this episode. Again, I really encourage you to listen to episode 624. I've had some people reaching out to me just asking questions about ERC. So my CPA was the one that recommended this company to me and was the one that just educated me on employee retention credit, which nothing more than a CARES Act government relief program for employers that retains employees, actual W-2 employees in 2020 and 2021. So go to checkerc.com and it takes literally like 7, 8, 9 minutes to see if your business qualifies, right? There's like 3 or 4 different qualifiers. My disclaimer with anything I recommend or anything I share in this episode is to check with the professionals, guys. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an advisor, an accountant. I'm not a lawyer or anything like that. So like, I just share with you things that I'm doing, things that people in my ecosystem are doing that I believe are beneficial and can help, but you need to do your due diligence and check on that. So checkerc.com. Now that we've kind of gotten that housekeeping item out of the way, I'm going to keep this episode short and sweet for a couple different reasons. Number one, just one particular thing I just want to share with you. Number two, we got back last week, or on Sunday, I got back from the Turnberry, where I stayed with my family and parents and sister and her family, and had an incredible time. My family's heading into our kind of busy travel season, which we're really excited about. And so tomorrow we're taking off to Siesta Key in Florida here with some friends, first time in Siesta Key. And then we got some masterminds and we're going to Dominican Republic for our Ascend Mastermind retreat. So a lot of different things going on. And by the way, the reason I mentioned that is because having the vision is what has allowed us to do the types of things that are important to us. And so hopefully that's encouragement for you, regardless of what it is that you're interested in or what you want to do. Take the time to go through that process. And if you have any questions and I can help or contribute, add any value in any type of way, just reach out to me. So I was recently on a mastermind call with a lot of successful investors. And I'm going to ask you, and I realize that I'm on a podcast and I can't exactly hear your response, but I want you to take a moment and think about, well, what do you think? What would you say is the number one concern that real estate investors have today? If I was to ask you, if we were across from each other at a coffee shop and I asked you, if you had to guess, what do you think is the number one thing making people hesitant, in some cases fearful about the market today, about business, about just going forward? And you may have guessed this, maybe you didn't, but the uncertainty of the market, the uncertainty of the economy, and specifically the rapid rise in interest rates are making people a little skittish and a little cautious. When people were sprinting, running full speed, trying to gobble up as many properties as possible and going out there and spending money, now those same people are dialing it back some. And I think it was really interesting. So I was on this call and we were in several different breakout rooms, and then we kind of got in a large conversation about the market. And we were talking about the self-storage industry, but even macro, we're just talking about the economy and the political environment we're in and what kind of impact that has, just on business, on real estate, on the economy, right? And I found so many people just not being as aggressive, being a little bit more cautious in how they're approaching things. And I think that's prudent. I think that's smart to a certain degree, but allow me to play devil's advocate here, because this is my podcast and I just want to play devil's advocate, right? I want you to think about both sides of the coin. I want you to think about different scenarios here. I'm reminded, and I kind of shared this on this Zoom call with all these different investors I'm reminded of Warren Buffett, universally known as one of the greatest investors of all time. One of the quotes, one of the things he always says is, be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. And it's very simple. And I think it's very wise advice. And who am I to question the billionaire Warren Buffett, right? Be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. And I'm starting to feel like a lot of people are fearful. And again, I just said, I accuse myself of being devil's advocate. I think that's prudent. I think that's smart to a certain degree. but not when it completely paralyzes you and essentially stops your ability to transact and do business and continue to grow. Another person I referenced, Warren Buffett. Another person I referenced was Grant Cardone, who I've taken a lot from. I've left a lot as well. I'm not just a blind follower, and I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, and that's okay, right? That's not a bad thing. Guy is super successful, but it's not the kind of life I want personally. But he talks about, one of the things he said during COVID. I remember watching one of his videos, like this was like April 2020, like a month after like COVID became like a real big reality in people's worlds and the people realized we're in a pandemic here. He said, I'm not contracting, I'm expanding. I'm not contracting, I'm expanding. Ryan Serhant, right, during COVID created a Serhant, his big brokerage, and he went on a limb and spent millions and millions of dollars to do this in the middle of COVID because his model was expansion in all ways, always, right? And I think there's so much wisdom in just the mindset of people are contracting, people are fearful. These are opportunities. Where can we hit the hole hard? Where can we start to expand our footprint? Where can we start to dominate in certain areas, right? This is an example that you might be able to connect or relate with, but when we ran the wholesaling operation, we used to double and triple down on our marketing efforts during the holidays. Now, we were in a position where we had a team and we had people that I certainly wasn't going to be talking to sellers or processing leads or going on appointments. Fortunately, we had built the team. So I had a group of people that were in a position to be able to do that. And we had the infrastructure and the systems, but we used to pick up deals because we were marketing heavy during the holidays when most people weren't. So think about that, right? People were contracting. People were starting to like take their foot off the gas. That was the time for us to put the foot on the gas. Now, don't go crazy. Be smart. Use critical thinking skills, which I think, unfortunately, is lacking in the world today. There's just too many blind followers and people that are just victims to what the media says, and just they hear something and all of a sudden it impacts their world. And so like use critical thinking skills. Like don't go crazy. Don't go put out a bunch of debt and just go like, be smart, I guess is the point. You're listening to this show, you're smart, you know what you're doing. So just use some judgment, use some sound judgment. But more than anything, I wanted to plant the seed that ask yourself if you find that people are being fearful in your market. Maybe there's an opportunity there for you. I would tell you there is an opportunity. It's just your job to find it. But just more than anything, the mindset of expansion, the mindset of expanding when people are contracting, being greedy when people are fearful when people are greedy, etc. So just wanted to leave that with you today. This particular episode wasn't more to maybe to educate you, right? But it was more to just bring awareness and bring it to the forefront of your mind and ask yourself, are you being greedy? Are you being fearful? Are you contracting? Are you expanding? And what's right for you? Because what's right for me might not be right for you. So that's what I got for you today. If you want to reach out, shameless plug about our incredible mastermind community, just continues to kick butt in so many ways. AscendYourSuccess.com. Would love to have a conversation with you about that. We're going to be taking off to Dominican Republic here mid-June for our retreat and got some awesome things planned for the near future. So AscendYourSuccess.com if you want to connect with us on that. Have an incredible day. I appreciate you, love you, and I will talk to you soon. All right, my friend, I hope you enjoyed that Flip Empire episode and got a lot of value out of it. Make sure to check the show notes page for any resources that were mentioned. And speaking of resources, honestly, I don't think I've done the best job of sharing with you my top curated, highly recommended tools and resources that I use in my business or have used in my business. In some cases, these are affiliate relationships with people that I highly trust and respect. And I know these tools and resources can help you and your business go to the next level. And as an ethical bribe, if you decide to try out one of these resources using my link, I will go ahead and send you an unadvertised bonus. I'll send you something of high value. All you got to do is shoot me an email, alex@flipempire.com. Go ahead and let me know that you tried out this resource, and however I can help you getting started with that. Chances are that I know it very, very well and currently use it or have used it. So make sure to check that out, flipempire.com/resources. And if I can be of help or service to you in any way, just shoot me an email, alex@flipempire.com, and I will do anything I can for you. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch you on the next show.